Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel Simply Me, and welcome to yet another topic today. If you're new and you have not subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button. It really matters and I would really appreciate it if you did. And if you've been here before and you are one of those loyal subscribers, please like, comment and share. I also would love to hear from you guys. I would love to know who watches my show, and just anything that you'd like me to talk about in the future, you can just put it down below and we will get to those topics. So today I have something different, something exciting. So most of you know that I am an artist by profession. Okay, yes. But right now I'm doing something different. This is a topic for another day. This is fine. But my topic for today is I'd like to discuss about what does one do if they are an artist and they're planning to move to Germany, and if you want to come as a group or you're planning to travel as a freelance artist on your own, and if you're planning to get a contract from a promoter and he's the one who's bringing you here, or maybe you just decide that you just want to first of all test the waters and see how it goes. Yes, then we will discuss about different visas that you will need, because it's different, of course, if you're traveling on your own, and when you're traveling as a group, and when you're working for somebody, or when you're working for yourself. So let's get to it. So these are just guess more of tips and advice from me as someone who has done it before as an artist. So these are the things what you should take into consideration when you're still back home. Before you even make this move, you need to research the how. You need to I'm going to list a few hows, whys, do's, don'ts. So first things first that you need to do when you're back home is know your trade. Know exactly what kind of artist you are. When you go and say I am an artist, or when you're searching online for promoters, for festivals, for shows, you should know exactly what you are, what kind of artist you are. Yes. So in Germany, if you say you are an artist is taken also just like in English, that it's just a broad word that stands for so many things that people will not understand if you just say you're an artist. So you need to know exactly what kind of art you do, what you specialize in, what's your specialty. For example, if you say I'm an artist to a German person, they will think that you're a painter, you draw, because in their language when you say ich bin ein Künstler, they think you're just a drawer, you're working with the paintbrush. But actually in English it's a broad term. You can be a dancer, a singer, a musician, you could be an actress, and we all fall under the same category of an artist. So this is important to know your trade, and then you know exactly what kind of visa you need. So my next point is you need to know your destination. Know where exactly you want to go. Research about Germany, research about your location, where you think your type of art is much more in demand, and where you think your art will be, will not just be boring for people, but will be a lot more lively. You will sell yourself more. For example, if you are a musician and you decide to come here on your own, you can't go directly to one of those small cities. You need to go to a bigger city, because then you have a lot more opportunities. But if you're a musician and you are coming via a promoter, This means that he already has plans for you, he already has shows lined up for you. So this is fine even if you get to a village or you start from there, because these are already shows that have been prepared for you before you get here. But when you're on your own, my suggestion is go to big cities, go to Berlin, go to Frankfurt, go to Bayern, go to Düsseldorf, because in these areas musicians or dancers, art is actually a lot more appreciated in the city more than it is in the villages, because in the city you have much more options, you have much more selections, and there's a lot of more things that you can do on your own other than when you're just arriving in a small village. Okay, so my third point will be know your promoters. If you have promoters, if someone is bringing you here, please do your research. You don't want to be embarrassed. You don't want to come here and realize that you just been pranked. It's a prank. It has always been a prank. There is nothing real about this place. You don't want to be in a situation where you realize that, dang, I just messed up my life because of these promoters that want fast money. They just want money, so they will use you to get this money, and then you will receive nothing in return. So you have to be careful about your choices as well. And so you need to make a research. This is important to do all these things before you get home, before make a decision to move. My third point is know your goal. What exactly is your goal? Why are you moving to Germany? What is your goal? Where do you see yourself in 1 year? What do you see yourself in 2 years? What is your plan? And don't forget that in most European countries, or in just everywhere, I guess, that is not in Africa, is there are different sets of rules for artists as a whole. Like when we got here, we didn't know that in some areas in Germany you are not allowed to do street shows, which means if you want to do street shows, you have to get a special letter, and you have to register yourself, your group, and tell them that, oh, we want to do a street show in a certain area, and then they can tell you yes or no. And sometimes in some days you're not allowed to do street shows, and so actually in some areas there's certain time frames you're not allowed to do shows. You are only allowed maybe 2 hours of the day, or maybe 5 hours of the day, or maybe you're allowed 2 times a week, because this is the German government. They are gazetted, there are laws that are put in place in order. So you need to know what exactly your goal is. If you're planning and preparing to come here, do a research. Take your time to learn about your goal, what you want, and what you want to see yourself in the next coming years. You want to see yourself as a big theater person, then you can't just head everywhere in Germany. Then there are specific places where theater is a hit. You want to be a circus star, then you just need to know your goal. You know, if you want to just be a famous musician or a great musician, or you're a painter, you want to be a great painter, then you know you have to head to Berlin, or you have to head to Munich. You know, there's north, south, east, west, so you need to know where it's really popping, where it's going to be worth it for you. There's a lot of things to consider. And my next point is know your paperwork. What is needed for you to get to Germany? What are you supposed to do back home before you come to Germany? For my suggestion is get your papers in order. If you back home, you have certificates from music school, from wherever, bring all those certificates with you, because you will need them. Because when you apply for your visa, let's say you're already here and somehow you decide to renew your visa from here, tell you what, they want papers. For example, they will ask you for your proof of your work. What have you done before? They want to see pictures. They want to see maybe videos. So if you have pictures, they want to see a letter from your former employee. They want your reason of staying in Germany, your work history, your contract forms from your employer now or and then. So imagine if you have your contracts and you leave them back home just because you have your visa and your flight ticket ready, and then you leave all those contracts back home, and then suddenly after some time they say, oh, can you please see all your paperwork from when you applied for the first visa and what you are doing now. Maybe it's you're applying for a different job, it's a different place, and maybe they just want to prove that you haven't been here, staying here, and not catfishing, you know. So you need to beware, bring your documents, and be very careful where you keep them, and all your documents have to be in order. And also, when we're still talking about documents, what are the type of visas that are required for you to apply for a visa? So if you're back home and you're an artist and you want to travel on your own, without a group, without a promoter, maybe you got a gig in a festival, you got a gig in a theater company, you got a gig in a freelance studio somewhere in Berlin, and you decide you want to come here. So the most important thing is there are different types of visas, and if you're here alone as an artist, then it means you need a freelance visa. If then you're applying directly, you want your destination is Berlin, there's a special visa, and this visa is only for performing artists, you know, for artists. If you are if you have any other job, then you don't get this visa. This is a special visa for only artists that only is available in Berlin, you know. So if you are not living in Berlin and living somewhere else, then you have to apply only for a freelance visa. But if you are going directly to Berlin, there is a special visa there. Then you're given a special visa to stay as an artist in Berlin. Okay, so there are so many different types of visas, and these we talked about before in our other video. But in any case, you should know exactly what you want, where you're going, and all the requirements of a visa and everything like this. And so, who qualifies for an artist visa? I guess this goes back to my point of know your trade, know exactly what you do. So if you know exactly I'm a guitarist or I'm a mbira player, then you know exactly what kind of art you do, and this makes it easier for you when you apply. You state exactly what you do, you put on pictures, a letter of reference, you know, from wherever you've been working before, and all these things will help you to get your visa. And also one other thing, if you're traveling here on your own on a freelance visa or an artist visa, you need a bank account that has money, because Germany will not let you in this country without money. They need to know that you are able to take care of yourself. So let's say you're getting this job that you're getting already is going to pay you fine, then they need proof if you already. And the other thing, you have to have more than 2,000 euros in your account, I guess 2,000 or something or more, so that they are sure that you're able to take care of yourself in case something happens. In case something happens, then you're able to take care of yourself. You need insurance again. You need this insurance before you leave home. You need to have this insurance. It's a health insurance, yes, and then you need to be insured. So these are all these things that you need to know as an artist before you make a decision to move. And another important thing that I want to tell you is rentals. So if you come here and you're planning to live alone on your own, and yes, first let's say you got a gig, but in this gig they are not providing you with accommodation, so it means then you have to search for accommodation. So usually in big cities accommodation is expensive, in smaller cities it is cheaper, and so you have to see how you're going to manage. And my suggestion is always try and maximize the German transport. For example, if you see that you can't afford living in the city, then live in the outskirts of the city, where you can go with your bicycle to work, where you can also maybe take a bus or take a train. You know, this is easier to travel, you know, so that you're flexible enough, and so that it doesn't cost you a lot more than so that you don't have more expenses. Yes, and also if you feel like, okay, maybe I don't want to live in the outskirts, I want to live in the city inside, so that you're just 2 minutes away from work, it's faster, it's easier to get around, fine. But then there are also what we call in Germany VGs, and VGs, these are gemeinsam Wohnung, something like this, where people share an apartment. You will have your own bedroom, but then you're sharing a kitchen and a bathroom and maybe a dining room, something like this. So you would consider also looking in those places where you don't live on your own, but you can share, and then your rentals becomes less than not more, because you're living in a big city. And I guess in Berlin there are a lot of those, and in other big cities also there are a lot of those VKs. So guys, those are my tips. If I left anything else, I would love to do another video about an artist moving to Germany, and maybe we talk about, you're already here in Germany, what to look forward to, and yeah, what other areas to consider just before making this move. Yeah, so guys, I hope you enjoyed this segment, and I hope you're doing fine wherever you are. Please stay safe in these tough times, and keep your spirits high, stay positive, and just make sure that you watch our YouTube videos. Yes guys, okay, until next time, please subscribe to my channel, please like, comment, and share. I am so grateful for your love. Peace out.